Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the RuneQuest rules by Chaosium Incorporated. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Strong language, mature scenes, and rune magics are on the way. As this is our Glorantha, we will remind listeners that it may vary from the one you already know and love. And now, on to the show. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways Podcast. I am your storyteller this evening, Michael Diamond. My pronouns are he, him, and we are back with our Glorantha series, Adventures in Dragon Pass. We want to welcome you into what is likely to be a lively game session and a fun story, hopefully, for everyone. And I want to first thank our listeners, but especially our Patreon supporters who help make the show go. So much of what you do helps support what we try to do for you, which is to engage you with entertaining stories and show a little bit of our creative side when it comes to player interactions. You can absolutely choose to support the show at patreon.com/theoldwayspodcast. You can join us on YouTube and on Twitch, twitch.tv/theoldwayswitch. And then we, of course, are on many different social media imprints as well, including our own Discord community, which you can come and talk to all of the cast on and tell them how much you absolutely love their characters because they love episode feedback. Now, with the propers out of the way, I'm going to get to character introductions, but before I do, I will mention that we are in the missing Lysana formation for this episode. She will not appear, and that's okay because she's off having fun. And so, to my right.
This is Jake, and I'll be playing Vargas, the Cave Delver. And we're going to play it safe today. Nothing dangerous at all.
No, not one single shred of danger. Everybody will be just fine. Yeah. And next to Vargas.
Hi, this is James, and I'll be playing Finn the Fantastic this evening. And I think we'll be just fine, frankly. I don't think there'll be any problems or any unforeseen consequences of our actions.
No, not at all. Everything is peachy keen, I'm sure. Next to Finn.
This is Morgan, and I'll be playing Alara, the Excellent. Our pronouns are she, her, and we are followers of Marangor. And we are also cave diving tonight. Although I think Vargas was on top of the cave, and he was going to jump on them like David and Goliath or the troll or something. I don't know. We might live, we might not. 50-50.
I mean, let's not put a percentage on it. And last but most certainly not least.
Hi, this is Rena. My pronouns are they, them. And tonight I will be playing Faisal, any and all pronouns, initiate of Humacht and Heller. And I may have instigated a little bit of combat at the end of the last session, just a smidge.
Speaking of, so we are going to raise the curtain tonight, part the veil of the world of Glorantha, and look in on our story where we left off in somewhat of a precarious position with several of our characters doing some very distinctive and important things. There had been a trip made to a nearby wooded space, a dark wooded space, where it seemed that spirits who refused or could not find rest were active. And as one could imagine, a follower of Humacht might be slightly concerned about that. And when these spirits got riled up and were perhaps reacting to something, say, another member of the party did, like go after a sacred space or a burial plot for them, they seemed to turn very aggressive, which, in kind, turned our Humakhti perhaps slightly aggressive. And so before the combat round begins, I'm going to ask, as I did before, what they would like to do about it. It's their intention to cast Turn Undead, but I will give the floor to them as it is a rune spell. They're going to go first. So is there any specific way you'd like to prepare to cast this rune spell?
I'd like to use Runic Inspiration from my Death Rune.
Okay. Certainly reasonable to take inspiration from the Death Rune. And so go ahead and roll your Death Rune for me.
Is the 15 under 70?
Okay. I see a 15 under 70 as a success. That is a standard success. So when you make the next roll, right, which would be a POW roll. So you have to overcome in this roll, as the text says, the caster must attempt to overcome each target's magic points, since the undead don't have POW normally. And so this is a POW roll. And I say normally because you are dealing with a wraith, and wraiths do have POW.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I am sacrificing 2 rune points, 1 for each of the 2 wraiths. So I'm going to go after the first one. So I have to roll against each individually.
You do.
Yeah. Okay. So against POW 60, that is a 7.
Okay, I will check that.
But it would normally be 60. What do I add to it because of my death rune?
Death rune, the successful rune concentration is 20%.
Okay, so that's a 7 under 80 then.
Right, 7 under 80 is a special. So this undead, provided that we don't have a subsequent resistance roll, would be paralyzed and immobile for 20 melee rounds, minus the creature's intelligence. So what I will do is, because we don't play with the resistance table in use here, because I fundamentally don't believe in it, because the 7th edition of Call of Cthulhu has given us an amazing thing called opposed rolls. I'm just going to have the Wraith make an opposed roll because that seems reasonable and intelligent to me. And we're going to go ahead and roll this beautiful pair of red dice that I have. Okay. So your POW is
80 with the plus 20.
right. Okay. So he does not roll high enough. And so you are going to succeed on that roll. And so with it being a special, I look at his intelligence, give it average. So I will say that you have this attacking undead, the one directly in front of you, freezes immediately in place. And you can tell that it's frozen by this aura that you give off. Your very body quakes with Humok's truth and the realization that death comes for everyone and that no one may stand outside of Humok's gaze, and those who are must be brought in line. And this thought, this very fundamental thought, you have transferred into truth for this wraith. And he is dumbstruck by the fact that, yes, he can die. And now you can take your other roll.
Okay. Okay. And that is a 37 under 60.
37 under 60. Okay. So, I think it's, let me check this really quick. I got to make a ruling on this then. Because you're technically making the same ability roll in the same round, casting the same spell. So I'm going to say that your inspiration stands on this roll as well. So that's your POW should be 80.
Okay, 37 under 80 then.
It's the same roll. It's the same runic. You're not doing technically a separate action. It's the same action.
Same action. Okay.
Okay. So you succeed, but not with a special. So the far one, the one that is about to essentially leap out and grab Finn from behind, shrieks in this just utter bone-wrenching way. And it begins to leap away from you, to run as far as it can.
Whatever you're doing right now, don't stop doing it.
I think I just have this, for a split second, this sort of radiant smile for a moment, because all I can think is this beyond the this is truth, this is the right way, is I have not been forsaken. And I am doing the right thing.
Okay, so there are no other combatants that we need to do rounds with. Although I will ask the two of you to figure out how you're going to resolve the frozen wraith. So while you have never actually cast Turn Undead, because you've never had a need to, Faisal, your sword brothers have told you that should something like this occur, you will have a limited amount of time to deal with the entity before it reanimates.
So my plan is to put Blade Sharp on my sword,
Mhm.
if it can affect them,
Mhm.
and then just do my best to dispose of it before it comes out of the freeze.
Okay, so what level of Blade Sharp? Because Blade Sharp is stackable. And then Finn, what are you doing?
Finn currently is he's way out of his depth at the moment, but he is still fairly certain that these wraiths are haunting something but then tied to the spot. So he is frantically looking around the area for something that doesn't belong. Something that might tie them here.
You did see on the ground that there was a pile of stones, and they're very specific. They were near a tree. That's sort of what you were going towards. That's when these rays activated.
Definitely. He bobs and weaves his way through, the various outstretched limbs and the bone-rattling shrieking, and attempts to make his way towards what he assumes is a makeshift cairn or grave.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. So, Faisal.
I'm putting 5 points in.
Okay,
Magic
you're
points.
putting 5 points Blade Sharp on your weapon.
Mhm.
So effectively, I'm going to let you roll to attack, just because you deserve to roll to attack to get the potential bonuses. It won't be able to dodge, so just roll, and I guess don't fumble.
Okay. I will take a picture of this if you want me to, but I got a 1.
Okay. I don't think pictures are necessary of dice rolls, but I do understand the appreciation of it. Okay, so let's see here. Criticals are fun. They're actually one of the best parts of RuneQuest. Who doesn't like a good, juicy critical?
Big fan.
Me too. Special damage. So you're using your two-handed sword or greatsword?
Broadsword.
Broadsword. Yeah, broadsword. So it's definitely a slashing weapon. Slashing weapons do double normal damage. So you would roll damage and then double it.
So with Blade Sharp, I do 1 additional point of damage per point. So
Correct.
it'd be 5 additional damage.
Correct.
Is that doubled as well, or
Yep.
just plus 5?
Yep, it's doubled as well. It feels like on a critical you should get double.
Oh, there it is. 1d8 plus 1.
Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
perfect.
Okay, so
So 2d8 plus 2 plus 10.
2d8 plus 2 plus 10. Okay.
Yep.
All right. 6 and 2, so 8 plus 2, that's 10, so that's 20.
You slash into this thing, and you cut it from... You essentially try to cut it in half. It is one of the cleaner deaths you could give it, and your sword gets an absolute truckload of resistance as you push through the leftover floating corpus. You do quite a bit of damage to that corpus, but this wraith has not discorporated at this point, and it's beginning to shake. You can certainly swing again.
Absolutely.
So the behind the combat stuff scene is that the way this works on him is that it's frozen for a number of rounds equal to its intelligence minus 20. So it's essentially frozen for 9 rounds in place. It can't take any actions. So you have effectively all day.
Okay. I could do this all day. Okay. 57 under 65.
Yeah, it's a hit. It's not doubled, but you're still going to do... I'll save you the damage roll. So what you'll do is 5 damage. Because the way the Wraith body works is it doesn't actually take any damage from the non-magical portion of your blade. It only takes damage from the blade sharp because it's a spell. But you do 5 damage. And it's at that point this thing fully discorporates. And you hear something, a firm and wise voice in your head. You hear, "That's one."
Nod, grim, sort of smile, and set off after the other one.
I mean, by the time you're done with the first one, you've no sight of the other one. You see Finn sort of examining a small collection of stones that have been piled up in a specific spot.
I'll help him look then.
Okay, so Finn, upon examination, the stones here look like they are, as one could imagine, they look like they're a makeshift cairn.
Finn might not be the right person to do this, but there were some traditions that were the common room magic there are room magics that all Harrowbone know.
Right.
Traditions that were, taught to him by his dad when he was young, and one of them is how to bless and sanctify something in the name of, the name of goodness or length. He's going to use the sanctify spell with his last rune point.
Okay. Walk us through the sanctify spell. So this spell blesses the volume of a 10-meter radius area, usually a sphere, though earth called holy grounds always take on a cubical shape. Big shock. Cast on level ground, one hemisphere would roughly be in the air, the other would be within the earth. While the sanctified area is not detectable by touch or Troll's dark sense, the boundaries slightly shimmer in the bright light. Ceremonies are performed within a sanctified area that can be performed only in a temple, such as replenishing rune points. Anyone within a portion of the sanctified area is considered completely within it. If non-initiates spells spirits across the boundary, the caster is immediately alerted to their presence. Additional rune points of sanctify increase the radius of protection by half again. Thus 2 points of sanctify protects it by a 15-foot radius, and so on. So I love the flexibility we can use here in RuneQuest. I think if you want to cast Sanctify and sanctify the ground and try to use that as a method of ushering this spirit on, sort of, making sure it knows it's okay to go. We've got this.
That is his goal.
Okay, I dig that. So go ahead and spend your rune point, and then I think I want to ask you for like a worship roll, or you could go to a passion, like a specific passion that might align with it.
I don't really have any passions that look like that would align with it.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Love of family, love of clan, loyalty to the Colomar.
Okay, so you're loyal to Colomar. You're on Colomar tribal land.
Oh, okay. So I suppose I could use this is an affront to the Colomar tribal, to the people.
Possibly, yeah. I think that'd be reasonable. Okay, so go ahead and roll your passion for your tribe.
26 under 60.
Okay, so that's going to be a normal success, but give me an idea of how Finn does this. Like you certainly sanctify the area, which is probably slightly unexpected from Vaisel's perspective, but as this is going on, like what are you doing to sanctify the area? What are your methods?
Finn pulls out his knife, cuts his hand, whispers a prayer to the powers that be to release these unfortunates from what is obviously an unfortunate afterlife. Send them on to where they're supposed to go.
Okay, I like that. So, Faisal, you see Finn deep in thought, potentially, or maybe he's asleep. But
Two things can be real.
it's true. A thing can be two things. But you get the sense that this space has been somehow the feeling, the tone in the air is different. It's calmer, cleaner almost. It reminds you just briefly of some of the space you were just in with the Temple of the All Gods at Apple Lane. It's strange it feels like that here, but something is emanating out of Finn, and for once it isn't alcohol.
Finn stands and smiles. I think that's done it. But don't put your sword away.
I don't remember how long my sense undead lasts. But do I feel like it's gone?
It sure seems like it.
Give Finn a slightly baffled look.
Totally
You are
reasonable.
full of surprises, my friend.
And nothing but. You know, we haven't heard anything from the others for a while. They're probably all right, right?
I'm sure they stayed with the wagons.
As he's wrapping his hand. Well, it's good to see you smile for once. It's been a little while. It's unfortunate that it took this much to make it happen. You know, we're not going to dig a couple of raids every time that you need to smile, right?
Well, I would hope not. Wouldn't need that many wraiths in the world.
Besides which, I have no idea what I was doing back there. So, I mean, Finn starts
There
to whistle
we go.
as he's walking.
Okay, so we're going to move camera just slightly, not too terribly far away, but far enough that it matters, over to a cave, a very dark and somewhat out of the way cave. Now, to take our listeners back to what brought Varghast and Alara to this cave, they had found or seen and then found a bull that had been eviscerated nearby. And it was fairly clear that something had gone this way. You'd tracked it. And you'd come upon the mouth of this cave, and it was exceedingly dark. And Arcad is next to Alara, and Varghast you're checking out the mouth of the cave. I guess what's the next step for you three?
To prepare ourselves, I think I'm going to cast a spell or two. Spirit magic.
Okay.
I'm going to cast strength on myself, which give me an extra 16 points of strength.
Okay, nice.
That'll bump up my damage bonus to 2d6
Sure.
and give me another 20% on my agility and manipulation skill.
Okay.
Now, Alara, do you want strength?
Wonderful. If you could cast that on me.
Okay, then I'll do the same for Alara.
Okay. You suddenly feel very strong. Okay.
Then I suppose we should spread out a little bit so we're not all standing exactly right next to each other.
Oh, I think we should stand next to each other.
Okay.
And I'd like to cast Figure on myself.
What are you going to cast on yourself?
Figure.
Vigor. I thought you said figure. I was like, wait, that's not a spell. And then I thought, wait, this is RuneQuest. That could be a spell. Totally. Let me guess. You suddenly initiate of Eularia. I'm going to cast figure on myself.
I don't need that. I already got it.
That's right.
Um,
You and them
So it
bronze
adds-
legs.
it 3 points of con to me,
Mhm.
costs 2 points.
Okay.
And then it increases my hit points by 3 and adds a +1 hit point to each of my hit locations.
I love that for you.
Mhm.
So you're then going to choose to go into the dark cave.
I think we're going to try to lure it out.
Coax something out. Okay.
Yeah.
How would you like to do that?
I think I'm going to take a deep breath and then shout into the cave. Face me, foul beast! In the name of Sartar and Orlanth, come.
Yeah, I guess Marangor's there.
Okay. You call into the cave. It echoes deep within the bowels of whatever this, however deep this actually goes. And after a few moments, you think you hear something moving.
Are you a coward?
Why don't the two of you give me scan rolls? You'll be at a slight disadvantage here. We'll say minus 20% to your roll because you're trying to stare into the dark.
Is that in addition to my already 10 that I'm taking?
Bingo.
That's 77 over 20.
Okay.
I'm doing it. So I gotta get it. I gotta get under a 10. I love it. Dead now. I got a 38 over 10.
You don't see anyone except the presence that's standing next to you. Like you've backed off the mouth of the cave in hopes to draw them out. And you suddenly notice someone standing next to you.
Turn.
Real slow, you hear in a strange form of the Sardarite tongue. Very slow. The sort of voice resonates. Certainly, it's easy enough for people, the rest of you, Laura, Arcad, except to pick up the person's presence. You see a man, probably about 2 meters tall, not as tall as you, but maybe just under. Beard, lots of red in it, dark brown hair, emerald gleaming green eyes. He's dressed in furs mostly. He has a bow strung over his back. And in his hand, he has a really wicked looking blade. And he says, "What do you want with the people in the cave?"
Is this not where the troll is?
There are no troll here.
What killed that bull?
The sickness, blight
Looked like something tore it open
from the inside.
from the inside.
We have been dealing with it. It's a sickness that comes from the upland marshes.
What comes out of the inside?
They are multi-limbed, disgusting creatures. Beings of chaos. We believe it to be a Trollkin sickness, some sort of foul thing brought out by the brew. You thought the troll were in here.
Yeah.
You do know they would never come out into the light.
Never met a troll before.
They're quite hampered in the light. They would not have come out to meet you. They might have thrown a spear out of there. My name is Mason.
Vargast.
He doesn't put his sword away. He just puts it down.
I have no quarrel with you or the people in the cave.
Where are you from?
We are a part of a tribe that no longer exists. We are Heraborn.
His eyebrow sort of arches up. I would not say that name very loudly here.
No.
My people and I do not take kindly to yours.
No.
We had a disagreement ages ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Your people pushed us out of the land we lived in. We have been looking for a new home for many centuries. We exist here and there. We are tied very closely to the land and animals that live within it.
Well, the Vale is no longer populated.
What happened?
Lunars and the Trader King.
That is unfortunate. It was good hunting ground.
It was.
I am sorry for your loss.
Well, we will do what I can to restore as many of my people, but I fear that our tribe is gone.
You still draw breath, yes?
Yes,
And you're full of life?
indeed.
Then there is hope.
Yeah, we will be a shadow of what we once were.
And you, he turns to you, Alara. Who are you? So silent?
I'm Alara. This is our cat. You're Mason. He's Varghast. We're Hairborn. And the Lunars still have some of our families.
He looks at you for a second, Alara, and then sort of seems to look at you with a turned face. It almost reminds you of the way our cat has looked at you in the past. It's a very animal way to look at someone. There's a natural like animal curiosity when it looks at you.
So are your people in the cave?
Some.
Well, we don't want to bother them. That wasn't our intention.
He whistles, and you see like 6 or 7 faces appear at the cave mouth. And these are all relatively like, they're adults, but they're likely fairly young adults. They all have bows or spears. They're, probably like you were a season or 2 ago.
I look over at Mason. Do you know where the Lunars might take people they capture?
Bondsmen. They might take them several places. There's the block, but it is far from here.
The block?
Indeed. The block, it is far. He seems to look up for a second. He turns. That way. It is towards Brax. It's generally a place where bondsmen can be traded, sold. He seems to say it with like a disdain in his mouth.
You would notice that my jaw tightens at that point. I'm visibly clenching my bow and arrow at my side.
I would say it is from here, perhaps 5 days travel, southeast of Swenstown, which isn't far from Old Home. Although my
Which town?
people and I do not get that far. Swenstown.
Are there any other locations that you can recommend?
To look for them?
Yeah.
Certainly.
Or is the block their primary location for trade?
No, furthest.
Oh, that's the furthest location?
No, furthest the city.
For
You have been in that Vale a long time.
Jesus, I gotta clean my ears out.
But furthest is 7, maybe 9 days, depending upon how weather is. How long have they been gone for?
A few days.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a handful of days since you've been gone from the Vale at this point. Well,
Say it's been more than a week, right?
probably close to a week at this point, because you got to figure there were some gap days, and there was the night over you spent in Old Home, and then there was the night that you slept at the caravan, and then you eventually got to Johnstown. So it's been a few days at this point. I would think if Kangaroo burned and sacked the Vale, he would take prisoners to the block before he would go all the way to furthest. He is not likely to leave while White Wall is still contested.
I like over at Vargas. That needs to be our next stop after we're done doing whatever we are doing here.
Yeah. Hopefully we're in time to find some of them.
I don't care what it takes. We will get our people back.
At this point, if Faisal and Finn have likely returned to the caravan in search of, where Vargas and Alara have gone, you will have been able to track them all the way to this cave. That's not terribly hard.
Oh, so that's where you two got off to. Staying out of trouble.
Naturally.
Slaying trolls?
No trolls.
Sadly.
If you wish to fight the trolls, then certainly continue to head west. The upland marsh is full of all sorts of their kind, and worse.
I'd be interested to know more about this blight that you're experiencing on your cattle. Is it just cattle that it's that it's happening to, or is it happening to people?
It has happened to 2 of our number. They eat some meat that was harvested, and our people perhaps do not have the same traditions yours do. And we believe they got sick afterwards. We had to extract this blight at dagger point and rip it from them, as our simple and restorative magics were unaffected.
Are your people free of it now?
We have had no sickness in several weeks, which is good. We are looking forward to continuing to exist.
We should move on, away from the blight.
I agree, but there are comforts here that are harder to find than others. The cave system here, while not ideal, does shelter our people. And with us staying here, nothing else has tried to get in. There is enough room here to have a small encampment enough. And the fields nearby are arable, and we hope will yield some food in the coming season.
Well, I wish you all the best.
He finally puts his blade away. He's had it out the entire time. He says, I hope you find your people and find what peace you can have. I know what it is like to find a little peace and have very few who I would call family.
Thank you.
Did we eat any of the meat in this area?
You haven't yet?
Okay. Can I roll Spirit Lore to maybe determine what's happening to the...
Sure. Why not? Sounds like a fun thing.
No. Just, it's a no.
Okay. Yeah, you're not really sure. It could be a lot of different things. If what Mason said is true, then maybe there is something in this upland marsh that is getting into things and infecting cattle. And if that's the case, it's a huge problem, potentially. Not just a problem for the area, but certainly a problem for Runegate, certainly for potentially south to Clearwine. There could be all sorts of different steads that are affected by this. And it could also affect Apple Lane. And you think of the very small community you just came from, that if people there get infected and it can't be healed regularly, you're talking about losing people, that's pretty dangerous.
Well, we have prior commitment.
Well, We will not keep you from it. While our people do not traditionally agree, I have no malice.
I'm sorry to bother your people.
He looks back at the now maybe 4 or 5. There's a couple people that have turned away. There's some generally interesting faces you're seeing, though. There's a lot of sharp, angular features on them. Some of the figures have, for younger people, they have a lot of facial hair. They wear traditionally just furs rather than actual armor. They feel, in a way, almost feel barbaric, but not in a traditional sense. Because obviously, this being a Bronze Age game, even you would be a little, less than, say, completely civilized. But there's something wild about them.
Do I remember anything from my, growing up, being taught things about people we may have run off?
Yeah, tons of stuff. I mean, there was something readily in your initiation to manhood that you dealt with. But I'm happy to give you homeland lore or something akin to that.
That is 8 under 40.
That's a pretty good roll. So 8 under 40 is a special. So I'll give you a little information, and then hopefully that will help. So there are a lot of different traditions and a lot of different people that have come through and around the Vale. But one of the people who are fairly well known to the Heraborn are the Telmori. And the Telmori are a rugged people who are former settlers of the Vale. When the Heraborn originally left the Vale, right, to seek shelter, the Telmori came in and took over the land and had it for several hundred years. And then only because the Heraborn returned, because of the stag, did they take it back. And then they basically drove off the Telmori. If what he is saying or intimating is true, then he might be a Telmori wolf brother. And given your special, I will just say that you would have probably heard tale from Gordangar or your Uncle Severin that there are rumors that some Heraborn may have laid with the Telmori for various reasons, and there may be Telmori bloodlines that have creeped back into the Heraborn. So like any two cultures that live in the same space, even if they hate each other, there are going to be things that happen. But he could be a Telmori wolf brother, and these might all be wolf brothers. And in a very traditional sense, they would not generally be friendly towards the Heraborn at all. They would see you kind of like how you see the Lunars.
Okay.
But he seems reasonable.
Right.
For now.
Yeah. Well, then we'll leave you and your family in peace.
You suggest it. And you said your name was Alara?
Yes. Alara of the Heraborn.
Interesting. Alara. It's quite the name. Your mother give it to you?
She did.
He nods.
She was a lovely woman. Not sure if she still lives.
Was she taken?
She was. So I could be the last of my bloodline. I have no siblings.
He seems like for a moment deep in thought. I pray that is not true.
I pray that as well. And I will keep you in mind during my weekly sacrifice to Marangor for your people to find a new home.
He seems to genuinely smile at you. I will think of you when the moon rises. And hopefully, he seems to like inhale at you. Hopefully smell you again.
Oh, Alara just like crimson red. Like, I feel like most men are intimidated by her. But she's pretty,
Yeah, for sure.
So to have one just be so upfront, outside of Finn, who says whatever he wants to Alara, is a
All
little
the time.
unnerving. Yeah, all the time. But also, stirs are a little bit on the inside. In the loins.
Certainly. Yeah, I would say he's Mason is not a unattractive man, although he's quite yes, he has a lot of beastly qualities to him. He probably has like a really set jaw. He has a red beard. There's something definitely different about him. It's part of it is probably the eyes, and you get the feeling like that Arcat probably is noticing him too.
He probably comes a little. If I might, take liberty, the
Certainly.
Arcat would probably come a little closer to her.
Where are you headed to?
Where are we headed to next?
You're headed to Runegate.
Oh, Runegate.
He nods. Not far then. Not far at all. He steps back towards the cave. He passes by you and he seemingly walks very close to you, Alara, probably within, say, just beyond arm's reach. Will you return this way? He says over his shoulder at you, Varghast.
Perhaps.
Good. He pauses just for a half step, Alara, at your shoulder and says, if you pass by here, stop by the cave. And he walks into the cave.
I mean, that was a thing. Alara says, I would say to my counterparts.
Mm-hmm. Let's get back to the caravan.
Is it getting hot out here?
No, I'm fine.
As we're
You
walking,
are looking a little red. Maybe you got too much sun.
Somebody should have told them they could have the veil back. We're done
Too
with
soon.
it.
It's too soon, Ben. Too soon. A week.
You head back to the caravan. Naturally, the caravan leader, Astor, is up on the buckboard, like looking. Is everything all right? What's happened?
We thought we saw signs of trolls.
And
Couldn't find any.
what about
We
the
did.
the tree line?
We took some care of some wraiths.
Faisal did.
Umak be praised.
it was pretty useless.
Let the dead rest.
They will now.
Now, if you are all ready, I would like to get back on the road.
Yes, absolutely.
Runegate awaits.
Sorry for the delay.
No. Better than being ransacked by a troll later on, or a group of them. What became of that bull, though? What did that?
It looks like there's something in the water, maybe.
All right. Well, we'll see that the other caravan riders don't let us let our horses drink from any of the locals. We'll have to ration our water a little bit, but we can make Runegate easy.
We didn't get any meat you guys didn't get any meat while you were here, right?
All of our provisions are from Boldhome. Why? Is there a
Okay.
problem with the meat?
Well, if there's something with the water and you eat the meat, just possibilities.
He nods. Yes, we'll have to be diligent and cautious, but for now, Runegate.
Runegate.
Yeah, slowly starts up the 7 wagon caravan again. And you head down towards Runegate. So, Runegate is many things, but luckily it is not terribly far. So, making your way away from Johnstown, eventually down to Apple Lane, and then essentially down a trail that leads through farmland, you eventually get to a river. So the river has a big old bridge on it. This bridge anyway, does not appear to have armed lunar soldiers on it, which is a plus. In the distance, not too terribly far, you do see a walled city. Another one. But nothing like Boldholm. Nothing like the capital you were in. The walls seem fairly well fortified. There is something beyond it in the distance, sort of back over to where you're coming at, probably back over towards the east. There does appear to be some sort of mound. This looks like perhaps a burial site. It's hard to say.
What is that?
Oh, Aster looks over at you. Oh, Ben Harl's mound. He points toward it. It's Colomar King grave. He was buried there with his companions after centuries ago fighting the Milani tribe. They venerate him still. But we are in luck because after we get into the city, we are going to go to everyone's favorite spot.
Geos.
You begin to get through sort of a processional order to get into Runegate, and you realize there is a luck rune that sits over the lintel at getting into the city. It's really big, and it sort of twinkles here. And you hear a voice in your head, Varghast, when you've not heard in ages, seemingly ages. You hear Shah say,
"The road is here. The pathway.
Here?
There are older roads than even man knows. Ones built by my people. Ones you cannot see.
And where do these roads go?
They go many places, all over Dragon Pass. Crossing them means crossing vast distances. But they're only available to those who believe and who can be shown the way.
Can you show me the way?
It is possible. We must speak on other matters, though.
I have not forgotten my promise.
I must find a space to go to.
So, Faisal, in your historical training, you would probably know that Runegate was the site of a major battle when the Red Emperor invaded in 1602. Something that you would have been taught. This town has survived an assault by not only the undead from the Upland Marsh, but it has been rebuilt after being hit by the Crimson Bat. And so the people here have been struck very hard by the Lunar Army before. And even as you enter the city, you can tell that there's been some definite rebuilding that has had to go on. It's probably 700 or so people here. So certainly bigger than Apple Lane, right? Smaller than Johnstown.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives you sort of your fit. There are a handful of buildings. There are trade spots. There are temples. There seems to be a major temple to Arnaldi here. That's fairly evident. And there are what you think. You believe that might be a temple to Orland Thunderous. There's also a temple to Humoct here. And then some other minor shrines, Asari, Stormbull, Orlanth Rex.
No Marangor.
No. Keep in mind, most of Marangor's temples, or the big ones, are the Shaker Temple. That's back towards Carofin. That's the big temple. That's probably one place you will have to someday make a sabbat. Like you'll have to go there, go hang out with your sisters who like to bathe in blood and chop people up. All in due time. I'm gonna call our episode to a close there, as the troop has reached Runegate, which is one half of what they have been asked and tasked to do. Now the question is, where will they go from here? We'll find that out next episode. So thank you and good night.